Welcome to the beach. At least that's what it feels like the last couple of days anyway. It's been absolutely scorching. I should have been filming this half an hour ago before the sun went down, then you'd really believe me, but yeah. Definitely been shorts and t-shirt weather on the slopes these last couple of days. So I said in last week's snow report that we were expecting rain on Monday. It did rain on Monday, but actually it came through quite a lot later than was expected, so most of Monday was actually quite a nice day, and there was still some fresh snow left from last week. Not much, but at least you were skiing on some actual powdery snow, not just slush and everything else. Then yeah, around 3 PM Monday it started raining quite heavily, not for very long, but it was enough, and it rained up to mid-mountain again, at least 2,000 metres, maybe higher. Then the temperature dropped quite rapidly after that, so then everything froze out overnight. So on the lower slopes on Tuesday were actually like an ice rink, not very pleasant at all to ski on. Up high, around 2,200 metres or so, there was some fresh snow, so it was a little bit chalky and it wasn't quite so bad. And certainly much higher than that, there was fresh snow, albeit very, very wind-packed. So I was skiing in Cormorant on Tuesday, and there was some fun to be had. Couldn't call it powder, but there was some fresh snow anyway to be playing in on the steep cool walls up at the top. But then Tuesday night, it rained again, and it stayed cloudy most of the night on Tuesday, which meant that when it stopped raining, the snow didn't set hard. So Wednesday was basically wall-to-wall slush puppy everywhere, wherever you're skiing, any aspect, any altitude. It was just deep, deep slush. It was actually quite pleasant. It wasn't sticky and until quite late in the afternoon, so you're still skiing fast and it's lovely and soft, what people call poor man's powder. So it was actually quite a nice day, but yeah, nothing had reset or refroze, so the lower slopes in particular took a lot of a battering. Some of the pieces were more water than snow, other pieces were more mud and grass than snow, but there we are. So Wednesday itself was a nice sunny day, which meant of course that the skies were clear at night, so the snow did refreeze for overnight yesterday into today being Thursday, which it's debatable whether that's a good thing or a bad thing, but it did mean that the pieces were firm first thing in the morning, then they softened up in the afternoon, pretty much classic spring snow really. So yeah, it's been much more like April than mid-January at the moment, put it that way. But yeah, as I've already said, it was absolutely scorching on the slopes today, especially if you're in the sun, but even if you weren't in the sun, even shady slopes, it was still hot up there. Mid-mountain temperatures were probably close to 10 degrees, so yeah, very, very warm. But I feel like I was the only person who's actually dressed for the weather, which always baffles me when you see people in fur coats and balaclavas up around their face when the weather's like this. It's just crazy. But yeah, definitely shorts and t-shirt weather. So I had hoped to do the Valley Blanche today. Today was the pick of the week to be doing it visibility-wise, like barely a cloud in the sky. But even though there's not a breath of wind down here, the medium was closed because it was 100-kilometre winds up at the top. So even at 2,500 metres, there's basically no wind. But you go up another 1,000 metres and it was like hurricane force, storm force winds, which is absolutely crazy. But yeah, very frustrating. We all waited around until 11 AM to find out that they weren't going to bother opening it at all. So yeah, so a little last-minute addition. We made it at the Valley Blanche after all, which is great because I got a mate out to visit me this week and he was really keen to do it. Never done it before. So yeah, finally managed to get him up here, which is great. Even so, we were there at 8 this morning and the lift was on hold till 9:30. We thought we were never going to get it up. Even when we got up, they held us at the mid-station for another half an hour. So yeah, we are against the clock today to try and beat the weather that's coming in this afternoon, and didn't think we were going to have time, but went for it anyway, and yeah, it's turned out pretty good. The visibility at the top was the worst I've ever had to ski it in. Luckily I've done it before in the dark, so I know where I'm going anyway. But yeah, pretty tough conditions coming out of the arete and down across the Col du Midi. So the arete has got 2 handrails in now, but I think the zigzags have been cut, but they're not yet equipped, so you still need axle crampons to get down, but it's not as exposed as it was last time. As for conditions itself in the Valley Blanche, well, it's not powder, it's wind-packed hard snow, but actually it's so much easier and safer in these conditions. So everyone wants to ski Valley Blanche and knee-deep powder, but actually it's much better to do it when it's like this, crusty and firm. You stay on top of everything then, less likely to fall in a crevasse. And also, as most of it is actually quite flat, trying to ski it in deep powder is really, really hard work, whereas you just glide across the top right now. So actually it's turned out pretty good. And to be honest, conditions on the glacier are actually really, really good for time of year. There's more snow now than there was at any point last season, and we're only late January. So yeah, it's definitely an improvement from last year and potentially the year before as well. So yeah, conditions certainly up high are really good. All that rain and wet snow we've had means that the glaciers and the upper mountains have really filled in. So small positives, but yeah. If you're coming out next week and want to do the Valley Blanche, I'd highly recommend it. Just try and find a day when it's not too windy, which is the difficult thing. In theory, in a few weeks' time, that'll be open. And getting off the Valley Blanche will be so much easier. But for now, still got the long old slog up. Still looks like it's a long way off being finished, but I'm guessing they'll just get it watertight for this season, get it running, then finish the construction in the spring. Annoyingly, when you get to here, you're so nearly there. Just one zig, one zag, and you'll be up there if you take that path. But unfortunately, because of the construction, got to keep going underneath, and that's a much steeper, much longer path on the other side. So, real ball ache, but definitely still just about easy with your skins on. So a little bit more sad news, unfortunately. There was a fatal avalanche at the Tour last week. Back when we still had some fresh snow. And yeah, a lot of people will consider Le Tour reasonably safe. There's not that much extreme terrain there, certainly compared to Brevent-Fougères and Grand Montet. But what it lacks in steep terrain, it's got a hell of a lot of terrain traps. So it doesn't take a huge amount of snow to bury you and bury you deeply because of just the nature of the terrain. So yeah, it's very important if you are skiing off-piste, even if you're inbounds, that you know what terrain traps are and how to avoid them because yeah, they can be lethal. While I'm on the subject of avalanches, in this hot sunny weather, they're going down absolutely everywhere at the moment. There's wet, sticky sloughs and full depth slides happening all the time everywhere. So this is in Saint-Gervais, really close to one of the lifts in the area known as Little Japan. And this is a full depth slide from the top of the couloir that goes all the way down the face. And that crown wall's over 1 metre. And of course, being full depth, it's going to have stones and mud and all sorts of other stuff in it as well. So if you get caught in that, it's not going to be pretty. It doesn't matter if you've got a transceiver or not, you're going to be pummeled to death, so yeah. And there's plenty of glide cracks opening up everywhere as well, so there's more slopes that are just waiting to go. So basically, stay off of the sunny slopes, especially lower down where it's still grassy, which is the case in Saint-Gervais and the Tour as well. So the grass acts like a slide plane as soon as it gets wet, and that's what lubricates everything, and that's how the avalanches set off. But it's just as dangerous in the higher mountains as well. So I was up at Brevent today, and again, lots of wet slides and sloughs going down everywhere. And indeed, there was one rescue going on. I couldn't see anyone probing or digging furiously, so hopefully it means that no one was buried. It was just an injury of some kind. But yeah, a helicopter came into the slope and was there for a while, sorting out a casualty. And that was just a bit further along from the hotel face, so it's a very accessible area. It's above lots of pistes, and there was clear evidence of avalanches there already. So honestly, the people who are skiing there were being stupid. But yeah, it's a warning to everyone else as well. When it's hot and sunny like this, don't go free riding. It's not time for it. You won't enjoy it, and you might die. So yeah. So this is the crown wall from the avalanche, and it's hard to judge the scale exactly because I was a long way away, but again, I'd imagine it's at least 1 metre high, and it goes right across the whole top of that face, that bowl. So that's probably 100 metres, maybe 200 metres long, 1 metre deep. That's a hell of a lot of snow coming down. So yeah, very, very dangerous, and it's not somewhere where you want to be skiing any time of year, but especially now when it's hot and sticky. So unfortunately, expecting a little bit more rain tomorrow, tomorrow being Friday. Nothing significant, but we've had enough rain already, so that's the last thing we need. Yeah, it'll be snowing up high, but it won't amount to very much, so it'll do more damage down low than it accumulates good snow up high, unfortunately. Then beyond that, looking into next week, the next 5 or 6 days at least, it's back to glorious hot sunny sunshine again. So yeah, as I said last week, if you're coming out again, bring your shorts. But don't despair, because February's just around the corner. I can guarantee every Saturday and or Sunday for the next 4 or 5 weeks, it'll be dumping down with snow, just as all the tourists arrive for their summer tyres, blocking up all the roads everywhere. So if you all come out here in February, expect lots of snow, because that's always what happens. But for now at least, enjoy the sunshine, enjoy the glorious views, the stunning scenery, enjoy the weather, and yeah, have fun. But most importantly, stay safe.